10 in capital letters or not?
No. Right. Have we got cameras?
Do we have rain colours?
Yes, they're in the bags. Inside the bags. Sides of the bags. I'll make a suggestion. I'll just run with this for now. Is that okay? You need to look like you're going to try to wrap it up.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to do
You mean the number 10, right?
Yeah, 10 is in 1 0 here.
Right.
I know what mine isn't. I've got caps lock on. SGS.
Yes, we are.
There we go. Cheers, Steve. Right.
Yeah. Shall I finish this off, David, while you sort out
First thing you can do is work out that goes on the over the left. So that's the top, and then you work it out. So yeah, and coming cap inside. Hey, don't worry, I'll do it. I'll just get another one extended. We basically.
Do we know the referees'
I can
names?
that if you like. Sorry?
Do we have the referee sheet? Or
No, that's the only sheet that maybe
Albert is here.
right.
That's the only ref I know.
Albert.
Albert's there.
Albert, right.
Albert. And you've got out the units, David.
To assign him. Did you manage to get the
Right.
right thing?
I think so, yeah.
When I tried to go to a website. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
No
okay.
problem at all.
Adam, are you doing anything right now?
Get the rain colours.
Right, okay.
That's brilliant.
You
Can I ask if you do me a massive favour and get the player sheet from
It's come
the
up with
opposing
sign-in
coach
screen
and
from-
the
I've logged
referee
in.
sheet from the
And when I
referee?
go to access the webpage,
I'll log in.
also cool.
You've got to do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're not on the stream today. What did you want?
I was going to say, can you get the referee sheet with the referees' names on it and the Cardiff sheet?
That's the
Team sheet.
That's the screen.
We can't get that for you right now, I'm afraid, Steph.
That's alright. How long we got until kick-off? 13 minutes.
Yeah. Where's that on this thing? Oh, there. Yeah. I mean, I'll try it. I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah, no, it was double login. Your security risk.
No, I don't think it'll do it. You
I'll
can't
try
log
to
in
do it from my phone.
without sight. Unfortunately, yeah, you can do it with phone. Yeah, no, not computers. You alright?
That's interesting.
Moderated. There should be a ranger inside. We've definitely got 3 rangers, I know that, because I got them on site.
How did it work?
Rangers?
Yeah, well, I can't get the lens.
I'll help you. Well, I tell you what, if you find the range within that one, find the range within that one, get that camera out and put that through for me. I'll sort this out. I have, yes. It was just there a minute ago. You didn't. No, so you have to take the lens hood off, lads. But then this lens hood, there's a button you press. See what I've done with this one? I'll take it, that's it, you go. And that wraps around. So that wraps around that kind of hole.
Put it on after.
Yes, so you put it on afterwards. So you put that round there like that. We don't need sound from this, so you don't need to worry about the microphone.
Excellent. Cheers, mate. Do you guys still do roll tackles in practice?
Not as much as we should.
Yeah.
Getting the event ready. Sorry.
Right, you're on camera now.
Mm.
Yeah, when there's one camera running, I'll do that first.
Where to choose?
You're on camera. Just go to that camera,
Wide
please. Yeah. We on screen, Owen?
Yeah.
Good. Right, fine. So you want somebody to cut to you? What time is it? 10 to. Right. We'll be all right. We should be on in about 5.
Alright, excellent. Give me enough time. How would you feel if I said something about one of the refs in the last game ejected the team's captain and it was a terrible call?
I wouldn't call it a terrible call.
It was a terrible call.
No.
Yeah.
Just need to be. I would be careful criticising the refs.
Oh, why? I'm not a player, so what are you going to do? Like,
Because, well, you can, if it was like a. But you're representing
yeah.
SGS's broadcast, that's the only issue.
Oh, SGS agreed with me, 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
I think everyone agreed.
Yeah.
But it's there was a broadcaster that got a 12-month ban recently for bringing
Oh,
down
no.
disrepute for
It's pathetic.
which is
Freedom
a
of
terrible
speech.
decision. But still, that's the just
That wasn't us
Surely
last
you could
time,
appeal then.
Steve.
what?
Surely
We
not.
picked up some of the camera operators talking.
No,
No.
it's
This is
that's
actually-
perfectly fine, but if you dare say something about the almighty refs and their powers.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
isn't it?
you can.
Steve, would
call
you
it,
would you mind if I just said called it like it was? It's a terrible call, and Micah Barra got suspended for the following game, and that.
Oh,
Was
yeah. That
it was an
terrible
awful call. It was appealed, and he wasn't allowed to play in the following game, and they lost 44 to nothing.
Against our main
Yeah.
rivals, right?
Yeah.
That's a weird mix there.
Piss off.
So we're about to go live. 1 minute to go. Brilliant. You okay with a bit of spiel? Both of you right to talk?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, thank
I've had a bit of a cold all week, so
All right.
it's covered up now.
We'll let you know when we're live,
Yeah.
okay, lads?
All right,
Yeah,
awesome.
cool. Let's come to the wide shot then. Or what's the widest shot? Okay, have we go a bit wider. How's it going out of fun? We'll just take those. And cue.
Hello and welcome to today's BUCS Uni Ball fixture between the Bristol PRiDE and the Cardiff Cobras, brought to you live from SGS College Wise. I'm Stefan Collins from Sports Academy Communications, and I'm joined for this broadcast by my colour commentator Steve Price, the CEO of Sports Tank, and the current Bristol Aztecs player. How's it going, Steve? I'm glad you could join me.
Yeah, all good, Stefan. Looking forward to this one. It's quite an exciting game. And this is probably, I think it's the second or third from this new home ground. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how this one plays out. Do you remember the reverse fixture result?
Yeah, it was 42-0 when this game was played at Cardiff.
Right.
It was a pretty convincing win. Another one where the weather wasn't great. It was one in the trenches very much from running the ball. There were two quarterbacks playing on that day. Harry Coyne, who was unfortunately got a torn ACL and will be out for the remainder of the season. And Lou Benzie will start under center today. And AJ Carr takes the ball, and he looks like he's going to go all the way.
Gone. Yeah, he's gone all the way.
That's a touchdown for the Bristol PRiDE. Some appeal from the Cardiff players.
There's a flag on the roughly around the 40-yard line. Down the running lane that AJ took, it could be coming back. A couple of the Bristol players here appealing, and the side judge here now talking to our referee Keith Wickham.
All the indications say that this one's going to come back, but the Bristol PRiDE will have good starting field position, and that's been the key for their victories all season.
So yeah, we were right. So that was a holding call on the Bristol side, and there was I think a 10-yard penalty. But yeah, 10-yard penalty from where the flag is, and they're marching it back now.
It's plays like that which have killed big plays all season for the Bristol PRiDE so far, and they've really got to cut that out. Obviously, they're talented enough to beat the majority of the teams in BUCS, but when they get to the playoffs and when they play against UE again at home, then they're going to have to cut it out because they can't afford to lose out on these plays. Nonetheless, they've got the ball at the 33-yard line, which is very good starting field position. The average starting field position for the Bristol PRiDE this season was around the 42-yard line on their own side of the field.
We've got another little delay here, right? Now everyone's lining up, so we've got. I think it looks like Benzie. We've got there as.
Yeah, Benzie from the shotgun. AJ Carr in motion.
Nothing on. Oh, we do have one high receiver on his own.
And that's going to be a handoff to the right side, and it looks like it's going to be stopped for no gain. Lamar Virgo on the carry. Virgo coming into this game with 10 carries for 42 yards and a touchdown, and a reception for 8 yards.
It's good to see, the PRiDE rotating their squad actually, because I don't think Virgo is the starting running back.
No, they can put anybody in there, and their offensive line is so big and strong that they can get anybody to run through it. As we've seen there, Lamar Virgo with the carry.
He's still on his
and
feet.
It looks like he's going to have about a 20-yard gain.
Yeah, they just gone into they just breached into the Cobras half of the field into their territory.
Ball's going to be marked on around the 48-yard line of the Cobras. You said that Virgo isn't the starting running back as the PRiDE goes to a no huddle. Benzie takes the snap. We're going to get the first pass of the game. He's going to take he's going to throw it deep, and it's going to be caught by AJ Carr against all odds.
What a superstar player he has been. AJ's been fantastic, hasn't he, for this team and my team, the Bristol Aztecs, a fantastic.
He's
young
been
player.
a stud. He's a guy I've known since he was 6 years old, and you can tell that he's been playing for that long because he's not the biggest guy in the world. He's 5'7", but he's just got such fantastic football IQ.
Yeah.
And he knows exactly where he needs to put his body in order to beat the defense.
And
Benzi's going to hand it off to Lamar Virgo this time, and
oh, he's still going. Lamar's very good at slipping tackles. I mean, that's a couple of times we've seen him do that now. Duck under a would-be tackler. We can see here the PRiDE are putting a lot of pressure on this defense already just by going no huddle, right? Like
that was actually number 3, Shine.
Who?
That
What,
wasn't
the-
Lamar Virgo. They switched the running backs
Oh,
out.
did they?
Yeah. So,
Oh yeah, you're right. It's 33.
yeah, these guys aren't the stars of this offense. The stars of this offense all season. And it's an incomplete pass. It's going to bring up third down. My bad.
Yeah, so that's now third down, roughly 3rd and 6 from this angle, from what I can see.
So, for those of you who watched the PRiDE all season, Ovi and Jeremy have been the main running backs all year. They've had a total of 629 rushing yards and 13 rushing touchdowns between them, with Ovi scoring an additional 2 on screen passes. Despite these numbers, you might be surprised to know that Jeremy only has 24 total carries. So it really goes to show that they do rotate these running backs.
Also, they don't get so many plays in because they're used to playing running clock
You
in
know
these teams.
And it looks like that's going to be he's going to be down at the 1 yard line, is that Sean?
No, he is on down at the one.
Now down at the 1.
Where he hit the pylon.
Out of bounds, clock stops.
Yeah.
Apologise to viewers out there. We don't have the best view. We've got a big blind spot in the way.
There is a holding call on the offense, so that's going to come back. Repeat third down, probably
Yeah.
3rd and 11, 3rd and 12.
Steve, come.
So they're just remarking the ball here. They haven't moved the down marker just yet. It's not too exciting stuff, this, but this is a really tough. This is even though they're just on the verge of the red zone, this is a big call, right?
Definitely a
Third and long.
passing situation.
Absolutely.
For those of you who aren't here today, it has been raining. The field is wet, so it's going to be tough to throw the ball. We've attempted 1 field goal all year, and it was blocked against Huey. Benzi's going to take the shotgun pass. And it looks like he's going to scramble around in the backfield, and he might actually have a lane there to run through.
Go on, Benz. Well done.
It's going to be shot up to around 3 yards short. It's going to bring up 4th down and roughly 5 yards. I can't.
Yeah.
So this is definitely a go for it situation. Ben Harrod's called go for it on 4th down a lot this season. He gets the play in from the sideline. Quick tempo from the offense. Benzi from the shotgun again. He's going to hand the ball off to Ershan, and he's got a hole to the right side, but he can't quite get around the corner. It's going to be turnover on downs. 0 points for the PRiDE on the first possession.
Great play there by number 58. I think he's the defensive end for the Cobras. Getting into space, reading the play, and then making the solo tackle to save the team from conceding points potentially there.
So the PRiDE defense out now. They've only allowed 44 points all season long. 44 of those points coming against Yui. So they've shut out every single team they've faced, apart from the Bullets. 0 points scored on this home field in the entire existence of the field. And there's going to be a tackle for a very short gain.
I think that's going to be probably the case for this season for them, right? You can expect them to probably concede no more points against anyone other than the Bullets until they get to postseason. I think obviously that then it's that whole untested, unwashed north v south games that we always look forward to.
Lewis Marston on the tackle on that last play brings up 2nd down.
Oh,
We run another. Just absolutely bullies him. This game is won in the trenches. Bucks football is won in the trenches. The best defensive line and the best offensive line usually wins because if you got the best offensive line, you're not going to be able to get past them. They're going to bully the offensive line, and they're going to gain no yards. If you can't move the ball, obviously it's the same in every level of football. It's very obvious to say you're not going to win many games.
Yeah, absolutely. And this D-line do a fantastic job of just, decimating what's in front of them. And it's so nice. I play linebacker. It's so nice when you've got a D-line in front of you just dominating and scaring and confusing the other O-lineman. You've just got free reign. So,
I'm sure it can get frustrating at times when your defensive line's making tackles like that, speaking from a selfish point of view. You don't get many tackles on the stat sheet.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, quite interesting to know, actually. I would imagine, that's probably par for the course for this game, for this season for the PRiDE, is that most of their tackles will probably have come from their D line.
Yeah, it has been, but a lot of tackles, you'll be surprised to know. The leading tackler on this team is actually Furman, who plays safety. That's because when they go to the outside, they want to get away from that defensive line. He can just fly around and make any tackle on the field. Doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah. So they drop back in here to punt.
And it's a fumble. He's going to have to get that away.
It's not.
Doesn't look like he's come very far.
No, it looks like he's gone out.
We'll see where the official spots that one.
It's around the 40. It looks like it's around, just 45. Yeah, the official stood
So
there.
another drive for the PRiDE starting in their half. That's been the story of success for them all season long, really.
Yeah, well, territory. They're a strong territory club. Like, they don't get pinned back and they pin you back. Like, they're just a really, really tough team to play. But I also think things like these, this no huddle offense or I don't know, semi-huddle offense. They come at you fast, right? Yep. So, and not just from a player's perspective, you think the coaches on the sideline, they're going to try and make adjustments and look for things. And it's really tough when they've just got another play to look up and defend against, right?
Hand up to the light side. And it's going to be an easy first down. A gain of about 20 yards. It's going to take it down to the 29-yard line.
Who's that? Is that Abel that's come on there?
Lamar, I think. That's Lamar Virgo and a carry. Adding 20. He's already nearly doubled his total on the entire season. Came into this game with 42 yards and a touchdown. Getting the start in this one. Benzie from the shotgun. He's going to look to pass to the right side, and he's sacked.
He kept hold of it. I thought he was going to drop that ball then. He didn't see that coming. He's a bit slow getting up. Hopefully he's okay. But that was a really, really bad play for him. Completely blindsided, completely in the back. But yeah, he looks like he's good to keep going.
Well, he's definitely not used to taking these type of tackles because he's only been sacked 3 times, and 3 of those were against Huey.
So that's his first.
They're going to have to pass again. First sack at home, yeah.
Wow.
Going to go with a screen pass, and it's not there. A great job by this Cardiff Cobras defense. Benzie's going to improvise and see if he can get something out of it. Gets back to almost the line of scrimmage. That's going to go down on the stat sheet as a negative play, but really that he did the best thing he could, making something out of nothing.
I think he wasn't really scrambling at full speed there. I think those of you that know Benzie, he was running very upright, which is rare for him once he committed to the run. So I think he's feeling that first hit a little bit, but good to see him continue.
It's very much a scramble drill. Receivers have to go and make something happen, get themselves open. They're going to go to screen pass this time, and he makes a good move, cut out to the outside. He might just about have the first down. Yeah, depends where they spot him out. I don't know if he stepped out of bounds. It looks like they're going to give it to him.
Yeah, he's pointed it. That's first down.
First down for the PRiDE.
And with this first down, they enter the red zone for the second time today.
It was Harry Buckland on the reception. Came into this game with only 1 reception for 11 yards on the entire season. Doubled his season total there. A GB Lions player who captained Nez Lamar with a carry. Doesn't look like he's got much out of it. Harry Buckland on that last play. GB Lions captain who captained the Lions against Italy in Copenhagen.
And that brings up another first down. Oh, no, it doesn't. Sorry. It's second down and 9. I thought he'd got loads more yards on that because I saw the stick.
No, definitely not. Going to go from the shotgun again. And that's Dom Donahue, and he looks like he's going to get into the end zone. That's a touchdown for the PRiDE, the first score of the day, 6-0.
Benzie is a bit hurt. I just saw him sort of bending over there off camera, but I can see the pitch from here. And
Well, it's a good thing they scored on that play. He's going to give him a
Give him
little
a
bit
bit
of a
of a
chance to
rest.
rest on the sideline. Probably won't be for long. Usually it's a free and out.
yeah, yeah, that's the problem. But you know, again, we may see a rotation here, just for maybe a series at Q. We give Venzi a bit of a rest, but let's see. So they're going for the one.
Luck and Ryan's here. And the kick is good. He's only missed 4 extra points on the season in the field goal. He's usually very reliable, and that's why they go for the 1 point. Back when I played here, we always went for 2 every single time because we trusted our offense to get 2 points and gain a yard more than we did for any of our players to kick a field goal. So it's nice to have somebody who can put it through the uprights.
Well,
Almost guarantee you 7 points every time you score a touchdown.
Yeah, I'd say it's rare to have someone that can put it through the uprights. Just in Britball in general, right? We typically do see.
Well, it's
coaches making
surprising
decisions.
because all the other nations, they seem to see us as a country full of kickers. It's
Yeah,
really not the
That's
case.
right. Yeah.
They think us we're very good at soccer.
Yeah, we can kick the ball, but
Yeah,
no.
not always the case.
No, this is
But if
really-
you do go to the US, most of your foreign players, guys from Europe, guys from the UK, they're probably going to be kickers. Wasn't the case for a lot of the PRiDE players. 25 of them went over to the US and played college football. None of them, to my knowledge, were kickers.
No, yeah, I'm fairly sure there's been no kickers. I see a lot of kickers get drafted into like the CFL that are from the Southern Hemisphere, particularly like New Zealand and Australia, rather than the whole Southern Hemisphere.
That seems to be the case in my experience, yeah.
Yeah,
Having played over there, yeah.
so here we're kicking off.
Ryan's
35
kicks
yard line,
off.
fielded
And
nicely
they're
by
gonna-
the up back. And he's tackled at first point of contact. It looks like there. Two of the PRiDE boys bringing him down at the 30-yard line. Set up a fresh set of downs for them.
So if the Cobras are going to get a touchdown on this, they're going to have to go 70 yards. Yep, that's my mathematician there.
It's really good. Well, it's
Yeah.
usually quite difficult to work it out in
Yeah,
football because
well,
the
the-
fields are so different sizes.
Well, we got a
nice
professional field here with the field markings on, so I'll tell you, 70 yards to go for a touchdown. So I alluded to this earlier. The average starting field position for the PRiDE the last time they played the Cobras in Cardiff was the Cobras' 44-yard line.
Right.
So they didn't have a long way to go. They only had 44 yards to go for a touchdown on average. Making them drive 70 yards in Britball, in BUCS, it's a very tough task to do.
So first ball's up in the air, incomplete pass to number 82 for the Cobras.
I have to apologize if you're looking for the Cobras' names. We don't have a play sheet for them. We're going to try and change that by halftime.
Yeah. So Cobra's taking the traditional huddle approach. I've noticed as well. So they're in no hurry to get the plays out or to put that pressure on.
I think a big part of that is you don't want to fatigue your offense. You don't want to make them too tired because you're already going up against a fantastic, well-conditioned defense.
Yeah.
And a tackle for looks close to the line of scrimmage.
It looked like it was number 4 who was. I think he was playing outside linebacker.
It's Gavin Lewis, one of the leading tacklers on this team, the second leading tackler on this team. 17, 7 tackles for a loss, a hurry, and a fumble recovery so far. He's really stepped up and done a fantastic job.
So the Cobras are coming out. They've gone trips to their right. The PRiDE left, and with a single receiver on the other side, empty backfield. Sorry,
there's a running
single
back in the
Sorry,
backfield. Yeah.
I couldn't see from my angle. Sorry. Yeah, there is a running back in, but that's a no tight end. Oh,
And
terrible!
there's a poor communication between the center and the quarterback there, and that's going to go down as a sack.
Well,
As Theo Grant is technically going to get the sack.
and that's a huge loss. It looks like they've lost 10 yards on that play. It's around third and 20 roughly.
I'm sure the coaches drill this into them, right? If you're going to stand any chance of even competing against a team like this, there can't be any mistakes like that. All right, there's no excuse for it.
No, you're exactly right. You know, turnovers, and obviously, you know, mistakes are just going to be so costly against a team like this.
Fourth down, and the Cobras are going to punt.
They're just going to always capitalise on it. He just punted that straight out of bounds. Didn't even want the returner to get it.
Well, they're doing a much better job than when they played East Anglia here in the last home game. Like, none of the punts seemed as though they were going very far. I said they might as well just go for it every time because the turnover on downs is probably going to give them better starting field position than if they punted.
Right. Was it
But
that
they went
bad?
with the traditional style of doing it.
So the PRiDE here in unusual territory for them, their own territory. They're just shy of their of the midfield point. So they're taking the ball over at the 44-yard line, 1st and 10.
It's not as if the back's up in their own end zone. There's still
No,
pretty good space.
no, but it might tire him out.
Hand up's going to go to Urshan. There's a flag on the play. It looks like it's going to be a holding against the PRiDE. We'll see what they call.
It did look like a hold to seal in the linebacker there. Yeah, let's see what the ref says.
Yeah, the offense is coming back. That looks like a hold. Holding offense. Be a 10-yard foul penalty from the spot of foul. It's going to bring up, it's going to be 1st and 20.
Yeah. So now they are deep into their own territory.
I was talking about before when they played East Anglia, the last game they played on this field, their average starting field position in that one was the Pirates' 41-yard line.
Wow.
So they only had 41 yards to go, and they had multiple drives which were starting inside the red zone, thanks to defensive turnovers and thanks to very poor special teams on their behalf. Of course, you got to give the PRiDE credit because they got to the punter and they put him under pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and the Pirates, and they're not a terrible team, right? Like none of these teams are at this level. It's just, I think the PRiDE.
Just some teams are much better than the others, yeah.
And that's what there was the big debate, wasn't there, last year about the PRiDE should have been Div 1, and well, people still going on about it now. But I think.
Well, you got to start somewhere. You can't just put them in the Prem.
No, exactly.
Oh, Harry Coyne's back, and he's sacked in his first play back from his injury. Not the best way to start it, but it can only go uphill from here.
So that will bring up about 2nd and 23. It looks like.
See where they spot it. It looks like, yes, about 2nd down and 23.
Yeah.
Score is 7-0 PRiDE if you've just joined us. Coyne's going to go from the shotgun. And he's going to throw this ball long, and it's a reset. Oh, it should have been caught. That's the elements going into play because it's Cam Mills. He's usually a very sure wide receiver. Obviously, he played for GB. That's a very easy catch that you wish he could have had back. The elements coming into play. I mentioned the field is very wet and slippy.
Yeah, I think do you know? And I think we were chatting before the game. I think that's what we're going to see is some unusual incomplete passes and some unusual ball security as the game prevails.
Coyne from the shotgun. He's going to throw the same play twice, and Mills is not going to pick it. That's going to be an interception.
Wow, what a fantastic series for the Cardiff Cobras there. They ended up. What did they end up? Was that 3rd and 23, and ended on a interception that gives them the best field position they've had all game. So fantastic play there by number 90, the cornerback for the Cobras.
It's the first time a team not named the UB Bullets has had any momentum against this team at all. It's not the first interception thrown by the PRiDE this season. There's been 4 on the year. Second one of the season from Harry Coyne. But are the Cardiff offense going to get some momentum going?
Yeah. That's how this game's played, right? You know it yourself. Like momentum's a huge factor in this. The offense will be buzzing coming on here, but the PRiDE are up. I think the PRiDE are up for the challenge.
And it's a completion. That's a good start.
His knees were down. That was about a 1-yard pass.
Yeah, about a 1-yard game, but you know what? It's a completion. Small victories.
Yeah. Well, it's true. That's what and that can decimate a defense if you're just getting little choppy, chippy plays that march you backwards. It's a really frustrating thing. So if Cardiff can sort of keep this up and sort of
if you can turn those plays into about 3 or 4 yard games, that's how. If you watch the UE game, they weren't slinging the ball downfield and taking big chunks every play. It was a death by 1,000 paper cut style of offense.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is it was very short plays, tire the defense out, and then finish the ball in the end zone. They had a 90-yard drive and a 95-yard drive the Bullets did against the PRiDE, and it really just knocks the wind out of that defense. You just found out who the much better conditioned team were, and it showed in the score.
That looks like his first quarter gone. Looks like they're swapping ends now.
Swapping ends. All right. End of the first quarter for those of you who are joining us. It's 7-0 with a touchdown pass from Lou Benzie to Dom Donahue. Do you think Harry Coyne coming into this game had anything to do with Benzie being injured?
Yeah, I do, absolutely. That's exactly what I think.
Get the athletic trainers to take a look at him.
Yeah, and it may not be a severe thing. They may have just said, "Look, it's not worth the risk here." Like we're confident. We're confident in ourselves. Confident in the replacement, and
Obviously, you
I
got
don't think it's an indicator of how severe the injury is to Benzing necessarily. Just the opportunity for the coaches to.
Well, Harry Cohen's an interesting one because he did actually do very well, and there were games before he got injured where he started over Benzi, and it looks like the offense was a little bit more electric with him in there.
Mm.
He could maybe sling those balls down the field and complete deep passes, low percentage throws, which Benzi might not have wanted to make.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out what the referees are doing right here. Just waiting for the ball to spot.
There we go.
Cobras from the gun, it looks like, when they spot the ball finally. And the second quarter is underway. Third down coming up. Third and about 9 yards to go. That's a false start from the offense. It's going to make it 3rd and 14, a lot more difficult to convert.
That momentum we were talking about at the beginning of this drive, it feels like it's been completely sapped out. One from the change of quarter, but two, this penalty. They don't look so buoyant all of a sudden. It's crazy how quickly you can sort of lose those sort of psychological and good feeling advantages that you get.
Well, just because your defense makes a good play, it doesn't mean the offense is automatically going to suck up that momentum. It should do. Statistics show that it should do, but it doesn't. That's not always the case, especially when you're facing a very good defense like this. Heavy pressure there. He's going to put the ball in the air, and that is a fantastic catch.
Wow, he didn't. Number 13 for the PRiDE. He had
Dom
his arms
Donahue.
out as a bucket catch rather than jumping up.
I was going to say, I was about ready to call that an interception.
Yeah, he just stood and let it. And the receiver, I don't know his number for the
82.
Cobras, fantastic. He actually wanted it more. Jumped over and did make that.
That was a
catch.
Randy Moss
Fantastic.
style catch right there.
Brilliant play. So they're into Lions territory. Sorry, PRiDE territory. 1st and 10.
They're on about a 39-yard line. Fantastic catch. I think that's the longest third down conversion against the PRiDE all season, and that includes the UE game.
Oh.
And a great tackle in the backfield.
There was that. That was
That's number 58, Sam Waterhouse Morris. This season, he's just recorded his 3rd tackle for a loss on the year.
Yeah, that was lovely. Shot the gap.
Knife
really
through the
nicely.
backfield and then stole whatever momentum, if we're still going with that, back.
Yeah, we will.
Sam Waterhouse Morris, a talented photographer. You can see some of his pictures on Instagram. They're pretty cool. Gritty tackler who likes to get into the backfield, as we just saw a good example of there.
So we're 2nd and about 16 here.
And they're going to
they're
go with the
going for
draw
it.
play, and it's not going to get them anywhere. It's going to bring up a very long 3rd down.
Which
Of course, they converted on the last time out, so it's not always a guarantee.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. You know, what would they
Done
do?
that up.
Do they target the same receiver? Do they target the same cornerback? Like it's.
Well, it depends how open their playbook is. They might have a play specially designed for 3rd and long situations, probably 4 verticals. You send 4 deep against a cover 2 defense. There should be somebody open. It's just whether he can get the ball off before the pressure gets there. And that one
incomplete.
had a chance to intercept that. Instead, he, kind of like the last time, he put his hands up before the ball was there. Slowed his path down. But it's good enough to kill the drive off, assuming they don't go for this.
No, there's too many personnel switches. I think they're definitely going to go for
But the
a
PRiDE
field
offense, depending on how this punt goes, might find themselves in unfamiliar territory because, as I've stated multiple times, and you're probably sick of me saying it by now, starting field position for the offense has been the key to their success.
goal. Yeah, absolutely. So this gives them, this will give them a very long field to drive down, unless we see some sort of awesome fake here, which I doubt. So yeah, ball down, looks around the 20-yard line. We'll see.
Not a bad job from the punter there. Nothing wrong with that. Just play it along the floor, down it inside the opposition's red zone.
Yeah, it looks.
Well, technically be the...
Yeah, it is just inside.
It's about the 19.
Yeah.
That's a stat that they like in the NFL for punters, how many punts you can down inside the 20.
Yeah. Well, because that's
Nothing wrong with that. The 19 counts
greater
just
than-
as much as the 1.
Yeah, greater than it's greater than a touchback, isn't it?
So here
that's
comes
not-
Coyne. He's going to hand the ball off to, looks like Lamar Virgo again. He's got a
Oh.
big hole in front of him. Makes a man miss, and he's going to be brought down. The last line of defense gets him down at about the 45-yard
yeah.
line, it looks like.
Yeah, lovely first down
40
play.
yard, 40-yard line.
Oh, it is the 40. Yeah, I thought it
It's
was
the
45.
39, actually,
Yes.
going off the
Look,
official
and
spot.
They're lining up.
PRiDE are going to
already.
go over the hurry-up offense, and too quick for the camera guy. Going to go with the screen pass that time to AJ Carr, and he's got space in front of him. That's a first down. Gets it to about the other 40-yard line, roughly.
Yeah, so they're now within 2 plays. They're in the Cobras territory. That is tremendous from the PRiDE there.
Marching down the field, give your defense time to rest. Nothing wrong with that. They're going to mark him out of bounds at around the 37-yard line.
Okay.
37 yards away from the end zone. See what Herrod's going to dial up. It's going to be a handoff to the right side. It looks like the defense has done a very good job of covering that.
Is that 58 again? I think
Yeah,
he's
58.
very, very good player. He's been on the out. Look at the size of his
I mean,
arms.
so far you got a big boy. Does a lot of bicep curls by the looks of it. A lot of pull-ups.
Yeah, really good player. I think they need to start to scheme for him because he's blown up a few plays now.
I think if you bring the opposite guard across, you bring the left guard. If you're going to run to the right, you should be able to seal him off.
Yeah, looks like he's lined up middle linebacker. I thought he was an end.
Going to go with the same play again. And he's going to be a good seal from
There's a flag.
the receiver to tight end on the outside. There is a flag there. It looks like it's probably going to be holding in these
Yeah,
situations, but we'll see what the official calls.
It came from the far side judge as we look at it, so it probably is a hold.
Number 85, Adrian, with a good seal block on the outside to let him get the ball up the field, but it looks like it's all for nothing.
Let's just hear from the ref.
Offense number 71.
So that brings up, so it's a 10-yard penalty and just replay of down. So we're now second and
That's
22 roughly.
That's the Dutch import, Tyron Brown. It's going to back the PRiDE offense back into their own half with that 10-yard penalty there. It's going to completely change the play calling dynamics for this one. Second and long, about 21 coming up. Coyne's going to hand the ball off in a draw. And it looks like he's got space in front of him. He's going to get the first down.
Wow.
Picks up about 27 yards on that play. Just open space, open fields in front of him. Can just take a nice stroll for the first down.
Number 58 in on the tackle again for the Cobras. He's all over the place. This guy. he's been a fantastic player for them so far today.
That was a shine on the carry for those of you wondering. Coyne back to pass. He's going to throw the ball deep. He's got AJ Carr on a hitch route at around the 10-yard line. That's going to put the PRiDE into the red zone. So a couple of plays before this, they were backed up in their own half with second and what looks like infinity to go, and he managed to get it in one play.
Unbelievable. And that was a first down conversion, right?
Yep.
So they're now first and 10 at the 12-yard line, roughly.
Yep.
Looking good to score, I must say. I don't want to jinx anything or insult anyone, but it looks good that the PRiDE are going to take this one in.
It's so hard to play the momentum game against the Filton PRiDE because they just never get their heads down. They know that they can score from any position on the field. Goes up and makes...
Sort of like a twisted. He spun around in the air to try and catch that one. I think it went to his back shoulder rather than I think he was expecting to jump onto it. Hard to tell how close that was from this angle, but
That looks
it
like...
looks a little bit of a miscommunication there as to where they expected the ball to go.
Going from the shotgun again. He's going to hand the ball off to Ershine. And it looks like he's going to have an easy path to the end zone. It's the second touchdown in the day for the Bristol PRiDE. That's going to put him 13-0 up, 14 pending the extra point. He wasn't even touched before he got to the goal line. That's just fantastic play from... I've known a lot of offensive linemen who I've played with, and they all complain when teams have got a great running game, a great running back, and all the commentators, they always say, oh, this team's got a great running back, and all the opposition's coaches say, oh, got a great running back, great running game. That was all on the offensive line. My grandma could have ran through that. She's 91 years old. Nonetheless, a good play. Did his job.
He was looking up there with the extra point, and that brings the score 14-0 to the PRiDE in the we probably mid second quarter now. I'd say. I know we don't have time in, but yeah,
Around around the mid-second quarter, yeah.
Do you know? I got to admit, this I was expecting a a higher score at this point in the game, but I think that's one in part to the Cobras playing really well, and two, we've obviously seen some rotation in the PRiDE. So I don't think we're seeing the PRiDE's full strength here.
No, we're really not.
Today. So, but I think they'll do enough. They'll do enough to win, right? They'll want the shutout. They'll want the win. But we may not have the usual running clock, the guaranteed running clock for the second half.
Maybe not, but this has always been a second half team, the Bristol PRiDE have. They might start off games a little bit rusty, but once they get into it, they're as electric as any team in the league.
Right, ball gone.
So there's still time left in this half. The last time when it went to half time against Cardiff, at Cardiff, the score was 28-0 to the PRiDE.
Oh, okay.
So, there's about 2 offensive drives left, so there's a very good chance. Well, not a very good chance. I'll give Cardiff some credit. They have played very well so far. There is a chance that it could be 28-0 and it could be another routing.
Yeah.
Again, you got to give them time.
And the ball returned here by number 33 for the Cobras, brings up 1st and 10 for the Cobras on their own 28, 29-yard line. It's probably 28 and a half if you're going to push me. I can see it there actually.
29.
It's 29.
Yeah. They're going to go from the same formation again.
Yeah, which is what, double tight, single back.
Yeah, double tight. 12 personnel is the technical term. That means 1 running back, 2 tight ends, and that's a tackle for a loss. So the extra protection from the offensive line doesn't make much of a difference there. Did you see him make that tackle?
QB
Thrown
drops
again.
back, fires it.
Oh, that's almost a
Oh.
completion. An excellent effort, almost a fingertip grab from the tight end. That would have given them a first down.
No, it was number 34 from the PRiDE who broke that up in the receiver's hands actually. So it was number 82 who made that tremendous catch earlier, being targeted more centrally here, right? And it was roughly around first down yardage that they were aiming for with that.
I mean, maybe the
pass.
PRiDE secondary's learned a lesson that you got to attack that ball in the air. You can't let it come to you.
Yeah. So it brings up 3rd and 11. And QB
Heavy
drops
pressure
back.
that time from Gavin Lewis.
It just feels like it's only a matter of time. Number 55 for the Cobras looks like he hurt himself. He's all right. It just feels like it's only a matter of time before there's another interception here. That it doesn't feel like the defensive backs for the PRiDE are getting that troubled with these passes.
They're really not. You look at the velocity of the throw. There really isn't much speed on them.
And
It's really not getting there that
they've not been
fast.
caught out.
Yep.
They're it's like there's a few players just sort of waiting with their hands out. I think we just need to wait for one of them to run onto it and.
It's got to be tough as well when you're playing DB, when you're used to the ball coming much faster, especially when you're playing against these quarterbacks in practice. And it looks like another short punt, and AJ Carr thinks about returning that one, but he doesn't. So it's going to give the PRiDE some good field position again at around midfield. But yeah, I was saying these guys, they practice against some quarterbacks who can throw the ball much better than their opposition. So it's got to be tough when you just sitting there waiting for a floater to come down for you.
Yeah.
You just try to time the jump just right. It's a bit more difficult than it looks, especially when you got the opposition who are trying to compete for the ball as well.
Yeah.
Stop you from intercepting it.
Yeah, but I don't think the Cobras are going to get away with it so much longer. I don't think it's going to take much more for these guys to adjust to it. There's been a couple. I think after every one of those instances, the players are all looking around at each other like, "Oh, we should have had that." So
Benzie's back in the game. That's good news for the Bristol PRiDE.
Yeah, good to see him back.
And that's Ovi for getting his first carry of the day. It looks like it's going to be about a 4-yard pickup. Yep, the official sports it at 4 yards.
Cool. So that just brings up a second down. It's been interesting. I think we've only seen about 3 or 4 penalties in this game. All of them have been for the PRiDE.
Yep.
And all of them have been for holding.
Well, that's an area which they've struggled in is penalties, and they've really got. Obviously, I've said this before. They've really got to cut that out if they're going to compete against the better teams like UE.
Yep.
Benzie from the shotgun. He's going to pass.
Airs it out.
Looks like he's got no problem at all
Oh,
with
we might
the
see a
distance he put
PI.
on that throw. Dom Donahue, the intended receiver, were looking for a
No.
potential PI, but the officials aren't going to give it to him.
No, you've got Albert Lambert back there as the back judge watching it, and then I don't know who was the side judge or the line judge there. Graham Coleman. They were both looking at it. They both had good view on it and didn't see enough to pull the flag.
He's going to hand it off to Ovi, his second carry today, and he's going to pick up the first down, makes a spin move there. Fights for the extra yardage, does such an excellent job of that. He's got such strong legs and such powerful running mechanics as he exchanges a few words with the Cardiff defenders there. Ovi coming into this game, he's only had 23 carries on the season. But he's had 384 yards from scrimmage, and he's leading the team with 8 total touchdowns. He's looking to add another one in this drive. Takes a snap. That's a completed screen pass, and that's going to pick up a couple of yards. It's going to make it second and very manageable.
Yes, I'd say 2nd and 5.
Jake Cobbin on the catch. 4 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown coming into this game. As a side business as a London-based sound producer as well. In case any of you are looking for trivia.
Or sound solutions.
Of course. Give him some free recognition out there.
Yeah.
Jeremy Benny on the carry. The leading rusher on the team. Looks
Boy,
to take
Jeremy.
it into the red zone. He's going to take it to about the 11-yard line. He's such an explosive runner. And sometimes you get these explosive runners at this stage of their careers. They just want to run down the field and then just go full speed and show everybody how fast and athletic they are. That was a very patient run by Jeremy Benny right there. Waiting for the lanes to open up so that he can just run through them.
So that moves the ball into the red zone. 1st and 10 on the 14-yard line. The Lions now, the PRiDE now, sorry, I keep calling the Lions, now lining up. Ball across the middle.
Oh!
Jesus.
Clothesline hit. Not particularly vicious, but it's enough to break the pass up.
Yeah. That was intended target was that AJ? I think.
It was AJ.
Yeah, AJ Carr.
Smallest receiver on the team throws a big pass up to him to jump up and grab. If that was Adrian or one of the bigger receivers on the team, he probably would have caught that. But
So we're now 2nd and 10. Obviously, ball still in the same situation. 14-yard line.
from the gun again. They're going to run the ball going off the offensive line's movement down the field, and that's going to be a hurdle. He might have just and about got it up across the goal line.
Yeah.
Depends where he goes. That's a touchdown. What a fantastic athletic play that was by Lamar Virgo.
Has Lamar scored all 3 touchdowns now? Is that
No. Dom Donahue got one
Yes, that's
on the
right.
screen.
Yeah, that's right.
What a fantastic play. Those of you who've been following the NFL for some time, you might remember back in 2012, I think it was, the Bengals receiver Simpson, Jerome Simpson,
you're not going to like
jumped
it
up,
He'll-
did an acrobatic play
Yeah.
and just front flipped over the defender in front of him. Very dangerous, very stupid move, but it was a fantastic highlight. It was one for the real.
Oh, it gets played every year, doesn't it?
It
It's
does.
a big deal, that one.
That's
I
the
don't-
kick is good. That's going to make it 21-0 to the PRiDE.
I don't agree with the likening to it, but I'm sure you flattered. Who was it? Who was the running back?
Lamar Virgo.
Lamar,
Obviously,
yeah,
it was
I'm
nowhere
sure-
near as athletic, but it
I'm
was a
sure
good
Lamar will
hurdle.
be really pleased with you for saying it.
All right, here's one that might be a little bit more accurate. Maybe prime Ezekiel Elliott, who was a fantastic hurdler in high school,
Yeah, let's
jumping
call it
over
that.
the Eagles defenders. Unfortunately, you can't do that anymore. I'm speaking as a Cowboys fan now.
Are you a Cowboys fan? Are you?
Certainly am.
Right, so we've got the 2 returners and single up back ready to return for the Cobras. PRiDE have just broken the huddle. Kick is imminent. Let's see what they can do here. They've been a little bit hit and miss, I think, with their returning. The Cobras have.
Kick is in the air, and this is going to be fielded around the 20-yard
Oh.
line. He's going to get good position out of this. He's going to take it to about the 33-yard line.
See, so my my problem with that was that the two other players that were with him, one as a blocker and one as the other returner, which would have turned into a blocker. He overran them. He ran in front of them. Like that they were teeing up something, and just a little bit of patience. Just let it evolve in front of you. Follow the guys that are trying to help you. You probably would have gotten some more yards out of that, right?
Exactly right, but I think they designed this up, they dialed it up, say you're blocking particular players. It's not a zone blocking scheme. You're gonna go and get whichever position on the kicking team, and you're gonna go and block them. So there's a possibility that they might have had a different assignment there, but it did look very strange.
Oh,
And they're gonna get some positive yards there, but
and he
fantastic
fumbled it.
tackle, and he fumbles it. And that's going to be recovered by the PRiDE. So
They're-
here come the 28 points to.
I think that was, and correct me here, but I think that was the Cobras' most successful running play of, or looking to be.
I
the
think it
most
was. I
successful
was about
running
to
play.
say it got some forward progress going
Yeah.
right there.
Broke the D line for the first time.
Yeah.
Safety comes in.
And then he
takes the
fumbled the
ball
ball,
out.
and maybe the elements are coming into play there. But I think what's more likely is the PRiDE reach for the ball
So
in that
timeout-
pile up there.
Timeout has been called. I don't think the ref signalled which side have called it. I'd imagine it's the PRiDE.
Well, the clock stops anyway when you change possession.
Yeah, it's just interesting.
That was Jerome Darko with the tackle. Not the tackle, sorry, the fumble recovery. First fumble recovery of the season. Benzie back to pass. He's got all day to throw, and he locates AJ Carr down the sideline, inside
Go
the
on,
10,
AJ.
and he's going to score a touchdown. So there you have it. You were saying before that this was going to be a closely contested game because it was only 14-0. There's 27, and they've got a chance to equal the total that they had going into halftime the last time this team played the Cobras.
Is that allowed? I don't think this one's been allowed. It looks like there's a flag. Yeah, there's a flag on the far side.
We'll
it's
see
gonna
what the
come back.
official says. The offense is coming back, but we'll see
Yeah.
what the play. I didn't see anything wrong with that on the
No.
field, so we'll see what the official says.
Illegal formation.
Illegal formation.
On the offense.
You're not going to give us a number? Or are you just going to pull that foul out of the hat? We've got a bet on for how long this game's going to take.
Such a shame.
Fantastic, yeah. Fantastic play. Fantastic play. Offensive line protection was phenomenal. Great throw down the sideline by Benzie. And obviously a great catch and move by AJ Carr too. Looks like they're going to go for a similar play. Oh, that's almost caught in the deflection that time. It would have picked up close to a first down.
I think that was the exact same play.
It was a similar play, definitely. The coverage obviously wasn't the same, and that's why they didn't get similar results.
Yeah. So what that brings up, that should bring up third down now, right?
No,
Or
no,
is
it's second down. You don't lose it down
Oh my
for illegal formation.
Yeah. So we're about 2nd and 14 here at the 37-yard line.
It's going to be a handoff to Lamar Virgo, by the looks of it.
Look at him
I don't
go.
know. It says shine.
There
And
he
he's going
goes
to be
again.
tackled for a loss. Not many tackles for a loss in this game from the Cardiff Cobras, but the defensive line's doing very well,
And no
considering.
prizes for guessing who from the Cobra side made that tackle. It was that majestic middle linebacker number 58.
Flying all over the field.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. He's been really good. Hopefully we can get some names and drop some names for the people on the Cardiff side because I think he deserves
And he's
it.
going to go in the shotgun, good protection, and that's going to be caught down the sideline. Jake Coven with his second or was it third catch of the day?
Are you asking me because I would not know?
Yeah, I don't know why I bothered asking you.
I've been keeping stats.
I've been keeping him in my head, but short-term memory.
Let's say second.
It was at least his second, so we'll go with that. Oh no, it's going to be negated
my
for another
God.
penalty.
Offsetting.
Penalties declined. Right. Oh, offsetting penalties. So they're
Oh,
going
no,
to.
I think it was declined. Sorry, I think it was declined. It wasn't offsetting penalties. I thought it might have been a penalty for a late hit or out of bounds tackling. What's this?
decline the penalty because it's just going to bring up fourth down anyway with that completion.
Yeah.
So you never know with the PRiDE. Fourth down in the opposition's territory, Herod likes to go for it. It doesn't matter if it's 4th and 20 or 4th and 2. It looks as though because they brought him over to the sideline that they are going to go for this. So I don't think declining the penalty was necessarily in their best interest. You got to know your opponent. You got to know. It's like it's a game of chess. You got to know what they like to do. Or maybe you just trust the defense to stop them on 4th down.
I just seen. So number 58 is Clark. I can see the names on the backs of the Cobras players. 58 is Clark. I don't know what his
Yeah.
first name is. But we've got.
Well, you got something to go off there. Clark's having a good game.
Yeah, he's been great.
Flying around, making tackles all over the field. Made a tackle for a loss on this drive, which is a big reason that backed up. Of course, there's the penalty as well. What should have been a touchdown was negated by an illegal formation penalty. Benzie back to throw. He's going to all day to pass. He's got a defensive tackle in his face. Good block there.
Keep blocking.
And it's just going to be incomplete. There's nothing there. So the Cobras offense is going to take over around the 40 to 35.
Yeah, just shy of the
34-yard line.
So in their own territory.
I mean, that was the right move by Herod going for it there. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, worst case scenario as turn the ball over on downs and they're going to get the ball around the 35-yard line. They've still got 34-yard line rather. Still 66 yards to go for a touchdown. Cobras offense hasn't shown any signs that they're going to be able to move the ball down the field
So we're
fast.
We're one PRiDE score away from this being a second half running clock, right? It's 28-0 at the moment.
It's 21-0 right now.
Oh,
It
it's
wa-
21.
would have been 27-0 when Carr scored.
Of course, that's right. Yeah.
It was negated by a penalty, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately, if you're a PRiDE fan, I'm sure there are some Cobra fans listening to this broadcast and they're saying some
We're a bit PRiDE
not very
biased.
positive things about me. Look, I played for the PRiDE. I've been hired by SGS College to do this, so you're obviously going to get some home team some home team broadcasting right there. Which is usually quite fun and quite easy to do because we're usually so far up. Cobras are giving him a good game, good run for the money in this one, though.
I think I'm going to call it. I think this drive will end in a interception.
I think you get a reasonable price for that if you went to a bookmaker who had some knowledge of what's going on.
I think because of the longer field, we're more likely to see passes, and I just think
Obviously, the clock's got to be a factor. You're going into halftime. You want to go up with some points on the board, some momentum. Some good running right there by number 24 as he's brought down by PJ Hudson. It's going to be about a 5-yard gain. It's going to make it further manageable for the Cardiff Cobras right now. Something you don't want to do after getting the ball from a turnover on downs with semi-reasonable field position is go 3 and out. You want to at least do something with it. Okay, there's no foul on the play. The official was just announcing to the crowd. Cardiff sideline. Not in the US anymore, Steph.
But I think that run was the best run for the Cobras all game. Again, broke the D line a few yards after it.
Might be time for a draw play right now. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Very smart play call there. You put all your receivers outside. You go from the shotgun. You make them think you're going to throw it. And then you hand the ball off with pass protection.
It's close. Are we gonna see
I
a
think
measurement
it's-
here? No,
I think it's just short, but I really like that play call. It should have been just enough to pick it up. It's going to be 4th and not even a yard. It's going to be 4th and inches right there.
No, they've moved it to first. They're moving it along. They're moving the.
I think it was a first down
Yeah.
going off the call. I think they moved the ball forward from the original spot. I think that was a first down. Good play call by the Cobras. So if you're a Cardiff fan or if you're supporting Cardiff for this game, for whatever reason, there you go. There's your call for them.
9 seconds left on the clock. The ref saying.
9 seconds left, so maybe you don't want to run the ball now. You got to come on. take a few shots at the end zone, send 4 receivers vertical. You don't want to go from a 12 personnel right here. You might as well trust your quarterback to throw the ball. How many yards is it going to be? It's going to be a very long throw to make it to the end. It's going to be about 60-ish yards, but you know, you can still get a couple of chunks there in 8 seconds. They haven't used all of the timeouts. So if you can dial something up where you get the ball in the middle of the field, take a timeout, and then have a shot at the end zone before halftime. No, they're just going to run it anyway and concede. You know, they don't even try.
That's got to be the 9 seconds, right? Let's see.
Yeah, they're just going to take it to halftime. They're going to waste that opportunity. It's going to
What
be
a shame.
21-0 to the PRiDE going into halftime.
And don't the PRiDE. Oh, no. The Cobras get the ball at beginning of the
Yeah,
third.
the PRiDE got the ball to start with. AJ
Yeah.
Carr had to return for a touchdown, which was negated by a penalty. That's 2 touchdowns that Carr's had in this game.
Poor AJ.
He could easily be the MVP of this game so far for the half, if those fouls didn't occur. And what's even worse is like those 2 plays. I don't think though the holding calls, no, the illegal formation obviously had nothing to do with the result of the play. I don't think the holding call had much to do with Carr scoring as well. I think they were just dumb penalties, which was completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
And
That'll be a massive frustration.
I've said it before and I'll say it again, and I'm sure Herod is saying this in meetings all week long. You can't commit unnecessary penalties. All right. Obviously, you don't mean to commit penalties. I'm sure most of the time that's not the case. But when it's completely unnecessary and they've got nothing to do with the play, that's going to kill you off.
Yeah.
Well, it won't in this game because talent is just on another level. But you know, you got to play this game as if you're playing the UE Bullets every single game. You can't get into a habit of committing stupid penalties which have nothing to do with the play.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that brings up half down for us.
It's going to do it for the half. It's
Fine for us.
21-0 in this game. We'll be right back in the second half. The Cardiff Cobras are going to get the ball to start.
So starting position for them this time, if my eyes don't deceive me, is 40 yards. So they're starting the ball on their own 40-yard line, 1st and 10. Let's see what the Cobras can do. They've got tight end left, twins out right with 2 in the backfield.
Run a bar, and it's going to be a tackle in the backfield. Craig Wilshere with his 4th tackle of the season, 1st of the day. It's going to be his 3rd tackle for a loss on the year as well. He's had a really good season getting into the backfield and causing havoc.
This D-line is just tremendous, aren't they? It's great to watch them. They just swallow up so much. They need the respect and the attention of the O-line.
Yep.
You know, and that's massive, right?
Key to any great defensive line is having depth, because you rotate the defensive line more than any position group in all of football. So they've got depth all across the board. They got guys who can make plays. And that's a heavy pressure right there. A break interrupts the screen pass.
I didn't even see the
That was
intended receiver.
That was Therese Rowland Campbell. The intended receiver was the running
24?
back on the screen pass.
Yeah.
Therese Rowland Campbell with the pressure right there. That's the problem with these screen passes, especially against a good defensive front like this, is the offensive line don't give the protection that they need for the quarterback.
Yep.
Basically, the quarterback's job is you got the ball, and then you're going to put a little bit of a touch on it to the running back. The offensive line's going to run to where the running back is and then lead block down the field. So it makes it a lot easier to put pressure on him. So you got to execute that screen pass very well. And they did not do that time.
Ball in the air.
That looks like a holding call. That's the
Oh, he got it! He
There we
picked it
go.
up!
And this one could be coming back. That's PJ Hudson on the return. He's going to
Yeah,
step
there's
on
a
the
flag
DB.
in the backfield. That must be, was that late hit? Would you say on the QB? I don't think
I wasn't looking at the QB. I was looking at PJ. So we're going to see what the call on the field is, but it looks as though it was after the interception. So this turnover is going to stand. It's just a matter of where they're going to get the ball. Roughing the passer.
First down.
Roughing the passer is, of course, one of the calls
So it was
where they will come.
Wow. So and
One
that
of
was
the calls
quite
where the
unique,
offense is going to keep it. Yeah.
it was quite a unique interception. It sort of bubbled down, you know,
Yep.
robbing the hands of
That
two
was a tip
people,
drill.
and then sort of secured at knee height level
Yep.
before he sort of took off. But all for nothing really, because there was that late hit. So that late hit results in a 1st down and a 15-yard gain. So brings the ball inside the 30-yard line. I think for the 2nd time today for the Cobras. I think they've been this high up the field once before, but
Yeah, they did early in the first half,
Yeah.
attacking into this end zone, as a matter of fact. From the gun, pass to the screen. They got
Fermi got him straight away.
excellent tackle. That was number 10 who had the big first play from scrimmage of the 2nd half, which resulted in a 25-yard gain plus 15. And a penalty. Nothing there, though. He's going to lose a yard, in fact, if anything. Cardiff are going to huddle up. They're not going to put the same tempo that the PRiDE offense do, because they want to conserve energy for their players. Is the gist I was getting from their head coach when I interviewed him at halftime.
Yeah.
They hand the ball off to the right. Oh, it's a trick play.
To end
And they're
around
going to turn it
to
on
number
the field.
10.
They're going to get a couple of yards out of it after I was just about to call that a big tackle for a loss by Theo Grant. To reach Roland Campbell.
So it went about 3 yards at best, so brings up
Yeah.
3rd down and about 5.
I'll take the 3 yards if it looks like it was going to be a 10-yard loss originally.
Yeah, he made something out of it. It's just, I think we should be seeing two offensive plays here from the Cobras rather than a.
Yep, definitely should. Look, you said when you asked me before, the Cobras good for a touchdown in this game. If they're going to score one at all, this is the drive they're going to do it on.
Yeah. This is the best chance
So,
they've
you
had.
know, you got to attack. You got to be aggressive. You got to try and pick up the 1st down in 2 plays. There's a bad snap on the floor. They're going to take a shot to the end zone, and it's going to be incomplete. Not much on it there. So it's 4 down territory. You're down by 21. If you score a touchdown here, you got a chance to make the game interesting.
Yeah. I don't like the trajectory of some of these balls that the Cobras QBs throw in there.
Do you think the elements might have something to do with that? You think it might be a slippy ball, or do you think it's dried up enough?
It's a good point.
We
I
haven't
wasn't
had
trying to
rain.
make excuses for him.
Yeah,
I was
we
just
haven't
like,
had
it's just
rain since this morning.
like
so
a rainbow. Just
yeah.
throwing a duck, as they say, yeah?
I mean,
just spending a lot of time
his
in the
arc
air.
really wasn't anything majestic, not necessarily aesthetically pleasing
No.
to look at, but you know, it doesn't have to be as long as the ball gets there, and it didn't on that occasion. 4th down, they're going to go to the air again. They're going to complete. Oh, it dropped. That's one that should have been completed, but it wouldn't have been good enough for the 1st down anyway, because Gavin Lewis was there, ready to break it up and ready to make the tackle.
So the defense jogging off the field as the offense come on, turns the ball around, and it's 1st down, going the other way at roughly the 21-yard line for the PRiDE.
The last time the PRiDE played on his home field, it was against East Anglia, and it resulted in an 83-0 victory for the PRiDE. This game, around this time in the game against East Anglia, this game was pretty much over. You could put the backups on, you could put the 4th stringers on, and you pretty much guaranteed a victory. This game's been a lot more intense. It's been a lot more. You can tell that there's a lot of rust on the PRiDE, and they're just trying to wear it off.
Do you not think it's down to depth or
I think
like depth rotation in depth?
I think Cardiff have just done a very good job of playing this game. I think this is the game that they prepared for since before Christmas. They had this one on the calendar. It's a big rival for them. And I think their coach has done a very good job of scouting them and knowing what they need to call and working with the pieces that he has.
So
As for depth, I'm not sure if that's playing into it, because the PRiDE have some exceptional depth. And Benzi's brought it down for a sack for the 2nd time today.
So number 77 D lineman for the Cobras gets a huge play there on it was already 2nd and about 14, so we should be what, 3rd down?
It's going to be 3rd down and very, very long.
Yeah, let's have a little look. Yeah.
So you're backed up in your own end zone here. You don't want to risk throwing an interception, so you're probably going to see some sort of a screen pass or maybe a draw play, unless Herod decides he's going to be aggressive and go for it on a big pass.
So it's about 3rd and 23, I would say. So he's dropping back, ball in the air.
They're going to
right across the middle to AJ.
Wide open.
Go on, AJ. Still on his feet. Some beautiful blocking downfield. This could be a 100-yard touchdown.
That's not 100 yards, but it's the length of the field.
Well, from where he threw it.
What a fantastic play. There you go. You throw the ball past the sticks. Wow. And the worst case scenario is an incomplete pass and you punt.
So that was from around the 7. The ball started around the 7-yard line. For the PRiDE on that play. Huge play.
It's going to make it 27-0 to the PRiDE. Lachlan Ryans comes on for the 4th time today, looking to make it 4 for 4. AJ's finally had a play which wasn't called back for on a penalty. You know what? It was by far and away the best one of the day, and we got an excellent view of that up here in the booth. And it's good. It's going to make it 28-0 for the PRiDE. That might be the play of the game now. Just a fantastic step back and pass by Benzi. Just a great catch and great yards after the catch from Andrew Carr.
Yeah. Benzi laying it right in front of him to run on to, across the middle. There was just no one there. Split the zones for the safeties.
Yeah, split the zones for the safeties. He's just got exceptional speed. If you get the ball in open space, he is dangerous for that defense. You really do not want to see him in open space, especially with blockers up the sideline as well.
Oh yeah, well yeah, and that's another good point. Exceptional blocking downfield to ensure that he was able to take it in for the 6.
Yep, sensational. That's what we always said when I was here. Like, just because you don't have the ball, you play until the whistle.
Yep.
That means you've got a job. Everybody has got a job on that offense until the whistle goes. And now, if you don't have the ball and the ball's down the field, that's to go down the field and block. Don't do anything stupid, obviously, but block within the rules.
So Lorcan lines up.
Make sure he hits his head on the goalpost and scores, just like they did that time. That's a textbook example of it.
Ball poorly fielded, but still he has enough time. Lovely tackle there from. I don't know who that is, number 2 for the PRiDE. Although, unfortunately, it looks like number 10, the guy he tackled, may have been injured in that.
Number 2 is Miles Butt.
Oh, was it Miles, is it?
Yeah.
Ah, I should have known that. But yeah, lovely tackle by Miles there to stop. He was the first person to the ball as well. It's always good to see. But unfortunately, number 10 is still down. And this is a shame to see, because he's probably one of the brightest sparks on this Cardiff Cobra offense and their special team side. So
he's going to receive the medical attention. Hopefully he's able to get up on his own and he's able to continue playing in this game, but it looks as though there's some sort of a problem with his ankle. Miles Button a tackle. Coming into this game, he had 7 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, a sack, an interception, a forced fumble, fumble recovery, and a bat down. He's done pretty much everything he can possibly ask for.
And GB player as well.
He is a GB player
Yeah.
as well, under 19s. 6'2", 220. This is a big guy you really don't want to be tackled by. Just such a great athlete.
And a really lovely guy as well. Nice temperament to him,
Yeah.
really friendly guy. But obviously,
Exactly
great
the kind of
competitor.
guy. Exactly the kind of guy you want as a teammate.
yeah, he's awesome. Great to see number 10 walking off here. Jogging off
Jogging
now,
off,
showing off
yeah.
now.
Looks like he's going to be back on the offense. I don't think we need to worry about him.
Yeah.
After a blown opportunity on the last one, when he had very good starting field position, only 30 yards to go for a touchdown. They're going to have to do it the long way this time if they're going to find it.
Well, again, we just hope that Bristol can stay disciplined and not draw any flags. Looks like there was one there. That's got to be a delay game, is it? What's
False start.
a false start?
Or illegal formation, possibly.
Yeah,
False start on offense number 69. If you didn't hear that, that's 5 yards. It's going to make it first down and 15. I haven't seen much of Miles Butt on defense. I think that's possibly because they're trying to rest him for the bigger games coming up.
Yeah. So he had to sort of step up on special teams just to make sure we talked about him today.
Doesn't matter what you're playing. Doesn't matter where you're playing. If your number's called, you just got to execute, and he certainly did then.
Drops back, ball in
Heavy
the air.
pressure, and he's got the catch behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to be a tackle for a loss by Mike Ibarra. Mike Ibarra, the team's defensive captain, looks like he's going to get into a little bit of a argument now, but there's no flags called.
So we do have it looks like a defensive lineman down in the backfield. So we'll wait to see that. But where the ball was caught based on forward progress, it was only a loss of a couple of yards on the play despite the theatrics.
Very good coverage from Mike Ibarra. I interviewed both Coach Harrod and Mike Ibarra previously on my podcast, Sports Academy Communications. Coach Harrod said that Mike Ibarra is the best defensive player he has ever coached, and that's really saying something when you factor into account that he's coached both Alex Jenkins and Tiggy, both played in the NFL.
Yeah, Tiki Sanko.
Yep.
A
Former teammate of mine.
Yeah, and
PB,
he's
played for
current
Cleveland Browns.
CFL champion.
He is a Grey Cup champion.
Yep.
Huge deal in Canada. He was such a freak of nature, was Tiggy, when I was playing on the same team as him. He was just the most athletic guy on the field. He was big and strong and powerful. I always remember there was one time in practice when he was a DB, I was a receiver. He decided to go up and press against me, and at the time I was thinking, if any DB, I don't care who it is, goes up and press against me, I'm good enough to get off that and I'll be open on a fade route. So he came up, was playing press against me, and I was there thinking I was going to get past him, and he just shoved me to the sideline and I went flying, and then I jammed the joints together in my wrist when I put it down to start myself. 58's carried up the field.
It's quite
Sam
comically being
Waterhouse
carried
Morris
off.
giving him the champ chair. He's a big boy, and that's, must have been a bit of a challenge for his teammates to carry him off.
So we're back now, second down.
And about 16 by the looks of it. It was first and 15.
Well, they haven't. I don't think they've moved the ball back.
That's offside, I'm afraid. Free play right there. He's going to throw it
He-
straight into the dirt. Technically, that is intentional grounding. Unless they decided to blow the play dead before he threw the ball.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to penalise him for that. I think they'll
No, I don't.
especially when they're the team that are down, and they'll probably just they're more likely to. Yeah, they are.
Strictly speaking, that's a neutral zone infraction rather than offside, but yeah, he knows he jumped off. He's got no hard feelings about it, saying good call to the official.
So that brings up second and 10 for the
Too keen to try and get the
for the
sack right
Cobras.
there.
So the QB drops back. There's the ball. That looks like a nice little ball there that doesn't actually go near one of his players. More likely to get picked off, but still doesn't. Yeah, disappointing. It feels like he's hitting his receivers at the end of their routes a lot of the time here, in terms of the timing of what he's doing.
A lot of that's chemistry, which I need to work on in practice. It's tough. I'm not entirely sure that the elements are playing any factor in now. I just don't think he's putting a very good arc on the ball.
And yeah, and what I mean by them hitting at the end of the route, like they're slowing down for him to get the ball to him and to them. So
timing is everything in the quarterback receiver game. Great blitz from Micah Barrow. Read that perfectly like a book. You can tell that this guy watches film because he knew that there was going to be nobody there to stop him, and that's why he put his foot down on the gas pedal and tackled the running back in the backfield for a loss.
I mean, the contrast that we've had in the last 2 series of the Cobras, they've just been sort of bullied here, and then the previous one we were talking about them potentially scoring. It's crazy how the game can swing.
Well, they're going to punt now, barring a fake. The drive is stopped.
I can see number 10's back on the field, so
as the gunner
managed to recover from his injury, which is good.
Injury with quotation marks on the end.
If that was someone for the PRiDE, would you be as cutting?
Of course I would.
Yeah.
Partial to old school football where there was none of this rolling around on the floor. And the punt is in the air. And it looks like it's going to be returned by Furman. And he's got a good lane to run through. He's going to take it across the 40-yard line. Still going. And unless he steps out of bounds, it looks like he went out around the
line of scrimmage. Around from the line of scrimmage that he literally.
Yeah. He got past the line of scrimmage, the original one.
They moved. They moved it slightly, I think.
He's going to be out of bounds at the 24-yard line. I think, 24.
Lovely. Really well fielded return punt there from Prem.
The difference between that one and the other punts it's gone in the air, the hang time on that one, it gave him a lot of time to field it and then run down the field. You see on these other punts, they've been really low trajectory, not giving them much of a chance to return. That one was the opposite, and we saw them pay for it there. Benzie's going to scramble outside of the pocket, and he hits his receiver there. That's Dom Donahue, who makes a very good play. Almost gets to the goal line. He's going to bring up first and goal from around the 2-yard line, depending on the spot. Yep, looks like it's going to be the 2.
Wow. So that's first and goal from the 2. Fantastic play there.
I've been really impressed with Benzie in this game so far. Earlier in the game, obviously went out with that little hiccup of an injury. He's come back and he's played exceptionally well. I think this is probably the best I've seen him play all season long. He's been hitting his receivers in stride. He's been putting a good trajectory on the ball, and Ovi's going to power in for a touchdown there.
He's in.
That is his, I believe, 9th rushing touchdown of the season, and it's going to put the game. That's going to be his 7th rushing touchdown of the season, his 9th overall. Great play. Just a great drive from the PRiDE offense. 2 plays.
What's this? Okay. Did you get that?
Yeah, I did get that. You're actually, well, NFL rules, I think you're supposed to just let them kick it. Yeah, and that's what they're going to do. So,
this is the end of the. This kick will end the 3rd quarter.
Yep, because special teams doesn't run the clock. Ryan's going for 5 for 5, currently 4 for 4. Snap, the kick is in the air, and it's good despite a
great by AJ there.
Great catch on a hold by AJ. Otherwise,
he had to turn around behind him to catch it. That was tremendous by.
Well, if anybody says that holders aren't athletes, well, that play's just proved them wrong right there. Anyway, Lachlan Ryan's 5 for 5 on the day. It's going to make it 35-0 to the PRiDE.
So
we begin the 4th quarter.
Yeah, so the 4th quarter will be played as what's known as a running clock, which means that the time does not stop for incomplete passes or players stepping out of bounds. It will just keep ticking on. It's known as the mercy rule within Bristol.
So we could just have about 15 minutes left of this broadcast.
Yeah, well, is it 15 or 12? I think they're 12-minute quarters, aren't they?
I think it was 15 when I was playing. It might have changed it to 12.
Let's call it 15. I don't know.
Well, might have a timeout here and there. Or does that not count for a running clock?
That's a good point. I think it
I haven't
must,
actually seen
I think
any.
it
I
must.
haven't seen any team bother calling a timeout.
because theoretically you could take up most of the game with timeouts
Yeah.
and just end it. So yeah, I imagine it does stop the clock, but gameplay doesn't.
Surely. So what's the rule if Cardiff score on this drive? That's going to make it 28 instead of 35. Kick goes out of bounds goes into the end zone rather. That's going to make it a touchback. So yeah, what's the rule if say Cobras drive down the field and they get a touchdown on this drive?
Then
Would
it goes
the clock
back.
stop or?
Yeah, then it goes back to normal clock management.
Okay.
So the mercy rule only applies when there's a 35-point or
Okay.
greater deficit between the two teams.
Okay, good to know.
And you
So
do
this
get
is
games
quite
like
an
that.
important drive for Cardiff because if they don't get a touchdown on this drive, then the clock's going to run out too fast for them. It's a very, very, very unlikely probability that they come back and win this anyway, but...
I'd say it's impossible. I know it's mathematically
never know.
possible. I just don't. What's that? 5 TDs they've got to score
It's
unanswered.
Well, it's about 1,000,000 to 1 shot that it's ever going to happen, but...
Yeah.
Of course, there's somebody out there taking it literally, saying, "I will take those odds."
Yeah.
You get 1,000,000 to 1. You never.
It's always worth a
ever
quid.
take
It's
it
always
in.
worth a quid.
I'll put a penny on it. Go on. So,
So 1st and 10 here for the Cardiff Cobras in the opening drive of the 4th quarter, and they're on their own 20-yard line, and they decide to run it.
tackle for a loss. Good grab in the backfield by Theo Grant. Gonna have to tally it up how many tackles he's got at the end of this broadcast, but I think it's quite a few. He's definitely added a few to his total on the season, which coming into this game was 11.5 tackles, 7 tackles for a loss and a sack. Well, he just got another tackle for a loss right there.
Well, yeah, that. No, apparently he got a bit of a gain. The ref's asking him to move the ref's moving the sticks on the sideline, so it's actually 2nd and 8, I would say.
Well, there you go. That's what you get for watching it from the screen rather than watching it outside like you are. Yeah, it's too cold. Gonna go from the gun again, like they have done all game. And they're gonna hand the ball off to the right side. He's got a little bit of a lane. If he had more athleticism, he might have been able to turn that up the sideline. But PJ Hudson, as he has done all year long, just flies to the ball carrier and takes him down before he can turn it up.
So that brings down, I think there was a loss of a yard on that play. So that brings down 3rd and 9. So I think we're likely to probably see maybe one more drive from the Cobras after this.
Well, it depends how long the drive is from the PRiDE. Are they going to march down the field in a 12-play drive, or are they just going to score in one play, or are they going to? They might turn the ball over. You never know. They've done it before. They're not immune to turning the football over.
Yeah. So drop back to pass it. There's just no one there.
I mean, yeah, closest receiver was number 3, I believe. He was behind Miles Butt. The closest player to the ball was Miles Butt.
Yep.
Just throwing up a prayer and hoping somebody comes down with it, I guess, is the play.
Yeah, that's a shame because I felt like this Cobras offense sort of got into a little bit of a groove and they were clicking. You know, they were catching some passes. There was obviously one caught in quite open space, and it's a shame to such a wide swing in their play.
I mean, this game to me kind of feels similar to how the PRiDE UE game was, but the opposite way around.
Right.
So in that scenario, the PRiDE would be the Cobras in this game. As in, I don't think that they got absolutely battered by the Bullets.
Prem picks the ball up on a punt return. AJ blocks for him. Prem turns round and is using his speed. He's got a blocker ahead of him, and he just falls over.
His teammates are having a laugh at that.
He'll be reminded of that for a month or so, I guess. That was.
He's not looking forward to that coming up in the film room on Monday, is he?
Tackled by a blade of turf.
Happens more often than you might think in England. Even on the best field in the country.
So,
even the continent.
Ball down to around the 40-yard line. Yeah, pretty much 40, 41-yard line of the Cobras. So the Bristol PRiDE have got a shorter field starting off this drive in the 4th quarter.
Harry Coyne under center this time. From the shotgun, Dom Donahue goes in motion. They're going to take the snap. They're going to hand it off to Jeremy Benny, who's their leading rusher on the season.
He's got so much space.
Going to take it down to about the 21-yard line. Good run from Jeremy Benny, adding to his season total. We haven't seen that much of him today. the two best players on the team as far as running the ball is concerned, Jeremy Benny and Ovi. Haven't seen a whole lot of them, but when they have been on the field, they made a difference.
Number 58, Clark, for the Cobras in on the tackle.
Theo
Of
Clark.
course.
Theo is his first name. I
Oh, is
asked
his
the
name
coach,
Theo?
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
Theo Clark. Calling back to pass. He's got a receiver there. That's going to be the tight end.
There is
That's
a...
going to be Adrian.
I think he's just shy of the first down there. It's a second and short, but there is a. It looks like a lineman down for Cardiff. There's been a lot of little stoppages for injuries in the second half, hasn't there? I don't remember.
There have been, actually, yeah. That was the story of the second half right from the get-go.
Yeah. Yeah, we had two back-to-back, didn't we?
So this is the first game which they played after coming back from Christmas break. Do you think maybe that has something to do with it? They're not necessarily prepared for the game?
Conditioned. Because it's all...
Possibly, yeah, because this is the first game back. The last game that the PRiDE played was December 4th, which was well over a month ago.
Yeah.
Almost closer to 2 months ago, actually.
Yeah.
That's why I was asked, like, oh, why don't they just get back into it? Why don't they just get back into it as soon as they come back from Christmas break? Because, like, well, it's because they need to condition, they need to practice, and they need to get back into game shape. Because if they went straight into it, you'd have a lot more injuries than this, and it's bad enough already.
Yeah. And I think it's a good call. I think that it may well be the Christmas break, you know, gets you out of that sort of match readiness, and you know, getting used to the little kicks and scrapes and stuff.
That's why Coach Herod, when I interviewed him, he said this is very much a game for wearing the rust off.
Yeah. So number 77 for the Cardiff Cobras, back on his feet, getting clapped off, which is good to see.
It's good to see.
So hopefully we see him back on the field shortly.
I'm sure it's the same for Cardiff as well. They want to wear the rust off as well, even though they're playing against a very good team. There's only a handful of teams in Europe even which are going to be as tough as this. Unfortunately, there's another one in the conference which they have to play, but
and they're a stone's throw away. That's what I love about the Bristol area. I always call it the Mecca of American football for the UK.
The UK, definitely. Not quite Texas, though, is it? But Coyne's going to throw. He's going to change his mind about it. Throws it just out of reach.
There wasn't enough on it.
For Jacob Cobham.
Wasn't enough on it. It bounced probably about 3 yards in front of Jacob.
Well, he had enough time, and I will say I think the difference in quarterback play between Cardiff and Bristol, besides the obvious, which is the Bristol players are obviously more talented and more in sync with their receivers, is that they've got a lot more time to throw the ball and go through their reads, go through their progressions so that they can make the throws necessary.
Low snap, handed off to Jeremy.
Jeremy Benny's going to get the ball again. He's not really got much to go with, but he managed to make something out of it.
Yeah, he's going forward. I think he might have picked up the first down there, so first and goal.
I think the defenders looks as though they were hesitant to try and tackle
There's a flag, a late flag from the back, from the uprights. I think Albert threw it.
It's coming from the secondary right there. So
yeah,
it must be, it's usually a defensive holding.
No, I think it might be offensive. I think it might be number 71 for the PRiDE that was jarring with another player, and that's why it got thrown. Let's see. Looks like the ref's pointing back over this side.
Yes, Tyrone Brown, his second foul of the day.
So that was, yeah.
See, when I was talking about earlier, it was like those kind of fouls are the ones that you want to completely avoid altogether because there's just no excuse for them, really, is there?
They just moved the stick. They just moved the sticks, but I don't know why. Why would they have moved the sticks on that play? They've got it as 1st and 10.
That's a mistake by the chain.
It was after the play, so it's from the end of the play.
After the play, right.
Yeah,
so 15 yards back.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
So it's going to be 1st down and 25. They're going to throw a screen pass to Jacob Cobham, who's going to turn it up the field and make a nice gain out of it.
Lovely.
Might get back to the original line of scrimmage.
It's there or thereabouts, mate.
Approximately, yeah.
So
it's going to be the equivalent of throwing an incomplete pass in the first place. 2nd and 10. No, they're going to move the chains.
No, they have moved the chains. Although it's not.
It's 1st and 10 now.
Yeah, 1st and 10 from about the 14-yard line.
Cubbin's going to hand the ball off to... No, it's a
No.
good play action, and he's got a receiver in the end zone. That's caught for a touchdown by Jake Cubbin.
I'm glad you had the angle on that. I couldn't see it.
It was a very good fake from this angle.
Oh, another flag after the play.
You got to cut this out if you're the Bristol Pride, assuming it's against them. But that was a very good fake by Harry Coyne that time. He really had me fooled. He had you fooled as well. I really thought that ball was going to Jeremy Benny, and he had a receiver wide open in the back pylon in the end zone. Very well executed play by the Bristol Pride.
It looks unsportsmanlike this. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Excessive celebration, okay.
The worst.
There's no
thing
excuse for
exists
that.
in
It
the
doesn't.
game.
I mean, you made a very good play. Caught the ball in the back of the end zone. You just got, especially in a game like this where you're already up. It's now 41-0. Just acts like you've been there before. Pretty sure that was his first touchdown of the season. I'm just going to check on that. So
Lorcan now lining up for the PAT1.
No, that was his second touchdown of the season. He had a very good drive there. I think he doubled his season reception total, and that's through the uprising good. It's going to make it 42-0. 42-0 was the score the last time these two teams played. So the Pride are going to get a chance to break their record. After in the first half you were saying, oh, it's going to be a lot closer.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't realise. I expect, unfortunately, that the Pride are always good for 40 points or so before the half. But
not necessarily the case. It's a tale of two halves. And you look at the stats, you look at the way the Pride have played all season. A lot of these games, when they result in a 40-50 point victory, they've actually scored most of their points in the second half. So number 93 comes onto the field. Didn't realise he had to go on to KOR.
So ball getting marched back to the 20, which is 15-yard penalty from
On the kickoff,
from the excessive celebration penalty.
Well, Ryan's has got a leg on him. Pretty sure he can probably get this to around the 20-yard line, but we'll see what happens. They might elect to go for a squib kick anyway. Ryan's prepares to kick off, and he's going to get here to around the 40-yard line. It's going to go out of bounds. It's not going to make much of a difference to the flag. They're going to get the ball around the 40-yard line, so it's going to give them an extra 5 yards roughly. "30 yards from where it was kicked." All right, it's a different rule to in BUCS, is it?
Do you know what? There's news to me. I didn't even know that.
That's news to me. It was always, as I understood it, they get the ball at the 40-yard line regardless of where it's kicked out.
So that's the 50-yard line.
Well, it was kicked out at the 35,
No,
so it's
you said
15,
30 yards from where it was
so
kicked.
So yeah, they're going to get the ball at the 50-yard line. So you know what? 50 yards to go. It's like this offense has been pretty hit or miss. If they can get a good drive going, which I'm not entirely sure if they would, I wouldn't put money on it because, like the head coach said, they're going to be tired, they're going to be fatigued. This probably isn't the time that they're going to score, but you know, they've got 50 yards to go. It's definitely manageable. That looks to be almost offside.
That same play again to number 10.
Yeah.
They tried, and you can see
Screen
why
pass,
it was successful for them previously.
See, in this situation, I would just say, why don't you just throw it down the field, try and throw it past the sticks? But you know, they haven't had any success with that all game long. And I don't think the coach has enough confidence in the quarterback to get the ball that far. So, you know, you're going to get all these little screen passes, these misdirection plays, which we've seen a little bit of, and your traditional north-south running. Through the tackles. They're going to throw it forward that time, and it's not a very good, not a very accurate pass when you throw into somebody who's no more than 5'4".
He's very short, isn't he, number 3?
Yeah, well, he's made a few good plays today.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh no, number 10. Sorry,
number
not
10,
number 3.
yeah.
Number 10. Yeah. Yeah, he has. He's done well. He's a good player.
He's done all right. Yeah, that really good play. He had Cardiff's best player of the game early on. Unfortunately, he took a completely unnecessary hit, and there's not much of an excuse for it. But yeah, if you're going to throw that little dragger route, you got to wait until he's cleared the linebackers before you throw it. Otherwise, you're just sacrificing your receiver, even if it's complete. Great pressure from Micah Bear at that time. He really got stuck in there and forced that offensive lineman back into the QB. Put some pressure on him to force the incomplete pass. It's going to bring up 4th down. So, this situation, do you bother going for it or do you just concede and punt? Steve, do you think in this situation you bother going for it or do you just punt?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Well, it looks like they got the punt team.
No, I know, but yeah,
on there, so
like, what have you got to lose here? Like,
not much.
I just, yeah.
You know, why don't you try and call a timeout and then scheme something up, which they're not expecting maybe. You know, if worst case scenario, they're going to get the ball like
maybe
15,
we're gonna see a
20
fake
yards
punt.
closer. Oh, maybe. You never know. I doubt it.
No, I know. I don't.
You're going to send him in motion to try and confuse the defense.
And
It's going to be out of bounds at around the 29-yard line of the Bristol PRiDE.
There's a bit of trouble back over at the kicking point.
Well, I don't see any flags flown.
No,
It
no,
looks as though it's calmed down now, so nothing to worry about there.
Is that?
42-0 PRiDE in this ball game when the offense comes out onto the field.
It might be game. Let's just see. The Whitecap looks like he's going to say something.
Two-minute warning. So we got 2 minutes left in this game, so the clock's running. If you're the PRiDE, do you bother just trying to score, or you know, you can just run the ball, run the clock out, go home with a 42-0 victory?
You always got to get over 50, haven't you?
Yeah, it's more of an ego thing at this point, isn't it?
Of course, yeah.
I don't think it's worth risking any injuries, to be honest with you. Maybe get some guys who haven't had catches yet, get them some catches, get them some confidence going forward into the next game.
Yep.
We got some new personnel out there this time. Harry Buckland, the receiver at the Z position.
Oh.
That looks like a false start. But it looks
Yeah,
as though
he
the
didn't throw it.
officials have either missed it or can't be bothered throwing the flag. That's going to be an incomplete pass. Probably should have been intercepted. Number 20 had a good shot at it.
Yeah, straight through his hands there. And he punching the ground in frustration. where he
Could
felt
add
that he
one for
should
the
have done
stat
it.
sheet, yeah. It was a tough interception to make anyway, even if he was going to get it. Oh, 27 doesn't even realize that the play's got off.
I was watching the exact same thing. I don't think it was on camera, but yeah, this near side to us, wide receiver for SGS, he was looking at the ref, asking if he was onside, and then missed the play.
Well, that's why you've always got to be looking at the ball after you check if you're onside. And he doesn't even bother checking this time, but thankfully he is onside. Coyne's going to throw the ball deep, and it's intended for Jacob Cobham. Incomplete pass, though, to the out of bounds. It's going to bring up 4th down. The clock is running, though, so
Yeah, 4th and 10.
if they decide to punt here, the Cobras might get a couple of plays off, and then that's pretty much ball game.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to punt, though, going off the... I think they're
That's
just going
it,
to milk
yeah.
the clock.
It's gone to the
Harrod's
white
clapping
cap.
his hands.
He's going to hold it up, and then we're all done.
That's ball game, folks. 42-0 to the PRiDE. An exact mirror score of the last game they played. And I would say an accurate reflection. You got to give it to this Cobras team, though. They came here, they fought a hard game. Defense made a few plays here and there. Offense actually made a couple of plays here and there, too. If you just saw that scoreline, they lost 42-0, you'd probably think it was an absolute massacre, but it wasn't necessarily the case completely.
No, I think
You know, they can still hold their heads high knowing that they did make a few good plays against a very good team.
yeah, and if nothing else,
And
these Cobras, they've had a fun day
you
out
can
with the lads.
tell, you can tell just from the way they're lining up now. They don't have their heads down. They're not. It's not all doom and gloom. They're laughing. They're happy.
Yeah, like I said,
They know that they gave it their best, and they put up a semi-decent fight against a tough opponent.
Yeah, and like I said, I think it's they know that they've had a fun day out with the lads, which is always important. And the PRiDE will go on to the bigger things. They're almost certain a shoe-in for the playoff spot with UE.
I personally am looking forward to the rematch against UE. I'm not expecting a victory, but I am expecting a tougher contest. Especially considering the weather should be a little bit nicer when they play again, because it was freezing cold
it
in
was awful.
January. That
Yeah.
was when we had the really bad weather period. It was about -8 degrees on a Friday night.
Yeah, I was there.
December
was awful.
9th, I believe it was, or Friday,
Yeah.
December 9th. That was the last time they played, not December 4th, as I alluded to earlier. That was the last time they played at home.
Cool. So guys, stick around because we're going to do some post-match interviews as the coaches become available. Yeah, we'll end the we won't end the stream straight away. Give us a few minutes to get all set, and we'll hear from some coaches and maybe a couple of players.
All right, appreciate it, Steve.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming on. It's been a lot of fun. Joined here by Bristol PRiDE quarterback and today's offensive MVP, Lou Benzie. How does it feel to get this 42-0 victory, Lou?
Oh, honoured. Like after the game we had against UE, it was just nice to be back playing with the boys. So, just back to basics. We did our thing.
You had a very good game today, but you went off a little bit in the first half with an injury. Can you give us some intel to what that was?
It's just shin splints really. Just trying to look after myself, making sure I'm okay for the big game in 2 weeks' time. So just making sure I last basically.
But you came back and you were moving around the pocket really well. You made a lot of good plays. What do you think the key one in this game was?
Key play. The key play was obviously the long touchdown to AJ. It's just a tone setter really. So just show we can make plays like that.
Do you think this game's going to give you the confidence going into next week against the next game against UE?
Yeah, of course. But it's something we have to do in practice. We've got to start off being confident in practice, making sure we do everything okay in practice. Like no flags. We just need to be better overall. So.
What kind of things are you looking at in the film room against UE after that last game?
We're not really looking at them. We're looking at ourselves more than anything. Like we're just looking at the flags we got, the like pressure, the press coverage, everything like that. Like just focusing more on our game than anything else.
Good to see Harry back today. What did you make of his performance?
Oh, loved it. Loved having him back today.
Gives you a bit of a reliever, doesn't it?
Yeah. Competition is the best thing about playing QB because only one of us is allowed on the field at a time. Having somebody pushing you, making you better is always a good thing.
What's the competition like in practice with you and Harry?
The majority of the time it's friendly, but there's always that competitive aspect that we both love. So
Awesome, Lee. Thanks. You got any final comments to make?
We're just happy we won today, and congratulations to the defensive MVP.
All right, one last question actually before we leave. What did you make of your opponent today? I think they put off a decent fight. Yeah.
They're the most resilient team in our division. They played UE with 12 men, and they showed us a great game today. So hands down to them. I think they're great.
Awesome. Thanks, Lee.
Thank you, mate.
Joining here by defensive MVP for today, Mike Ibarra. How's that win feel, Mike?
Yeah, I feel good. Feel nice after the break of Christmas. Good to be back playing at the W. Yeah, it's pretty good.
So you weren't allowed to play in the last game, and we won't get into the reason why, but must feel good to be back out there playing.
Yeah, very good, very good. They all everybody plotting against me. Yeah, I'm back now.
Awesome. Yeah. How are you feeling about playing against UE in a couple of weeks' time?
Very excited, very excited. I'm happy for the opportunity. As I've seen, I didn't play the last game, but I've seen from the outside. Great level, a lot of athletes. Great opportunity to like push yourself. Yeah, so it looked like a good game to play.
How's the preparation looking in practice going into that UE game?
We definitely getting ready. Like we always working really hard, but we definitely after the last game, like the result of the last game, we have to tend to work like a little bit harder, like correct what we did wrong, and just try to get the best version of our team to be ready for the big game.
Do you think of it? Just looking at that game from the sidelines against UE, what did you make of your defense playing in that one? I think you played reasonably well. I think guys were fundamentally sound. I think fatigue got a better of them playing against a team that's very well conditioned, something you're not used to.
I don't know. I feel like there was obviously like a factor of that, but I feel a lot of it was just like experience. Obviously, they got like well-experienced player who played at a very high level, and they were able to like adjust every time, and just they were able to like get a lot of tricks out of their hat constantly, and they were also physically like very strong. They were very like as you said, well conditioned, like they're a good team. You know what I mean? We're not gonna come here and say that they're not. They're a very good team, but we are like no less. I feel like.
Full game of film to watch and review, and obviously you'll be on the field this time. Do you think that's going to make a difference? Should we see a different score this time?
I hope so. I damn well hope so. We're definitely working. I feel like I don't know. I'm not special. Like I'm one of the guys, but I give my best. I give everything I got, and I hope that will help the guys get like a better score, a better game, and hopefully get a win.
I think it's just like you said, experience, and having you on the field makes all the difference as far as experience is concerned. In my experience, anyway. So, what do you make of your opponent for today, Cardiff? I think they fought tough game there. What do you make of them?
I feel like they're a good team and they got a lot of heart. I wouldn't know, like, in sense, I don't know what's their background. I know what they're obviously not a American football first kind of program, but for what they got, they put a lot of heart into it. They fought hard today. I feel like they looked way better than the first time we saw them, and even of the preseason. And they fight to the last snap, and they want to score, and they're not gonna like present you anything. I have a lot of respect for these guys. Yeah, they're a good opponent.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. Good luck with the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Joined here by Ash Hopkinson. What did you make of today's game, Coach?
To be fair, I thought it was a really good challenge, and to be fair, this is the first time that Cardiff have actually had a full team, so it's a really good challenge for us, and it's the first game we've had after Christmas as well. So it is a really good test for what our guys have been like. They've been off for so long. They've been off since the middle of December or start of December. So it's a really good challenge of what they can do when they've come back, when they've had such a big gap and they've not been able to compete like they have in that sort of game. And it's a good progression to as we're going into the last game against you and then into the playoffs there. So I thought it was a really good challenge today.
Do you think that little break against for Christmas break had a lot to do with the amount of injuries and the amount of guys that were suffering on the field and had to come off?
I think it could have been as well. Yeah, I think it could have been. I think it's just again the condition of it all. The guys just haven't been able to condition as much as they want to. Like obviously it's different in practice as it is to a game. So it could be to do with that as well. I think some of it was just unfortunate as well. So I think one of them was Sydney where he just ended up landing funny as well. I didn't see what happened to Sam, but again I think it's more of that as well. And I think Cam Mills as well. I think it was more just again probably lack of just not being able to have games like we have done before Christmas.
So what's the report on those guys? Are they going to be okay to go for practice this week?
At the moment, Sydney's currently in A&E, so we'll get a checkup on that, and then we'll get a report from the physios after that as well. So hopefully we'll find out by later this evening, and if not tomorrow.
Sydney's going to be a tough one to replace. He's had a really good season also so far. Who do you think has been the best player on this team so far that you've coached?
It's a toss-up, really. There's a couple of people that could have been, but again, like if you look back at the U game, the person we really missed the most was obviously Micah Berra. So he's the person we really missed the most, and he's the heart and soul of the team. So it is difficult to argue that it wouldn't be Micah Berra, but again, there's so many people that if one person goes down, then it's a big loss. Like for example, Adam Deverell, who's hardly played all year because of an injury. He's probably one of the biggest losses we've had as well. So, but I would say probably it's Mike.
Are you doing anything different to prepare for the UE game, different to what you did last time?
The difference to what we had last time is because no one had really ever slowed them down, basically put up a drive against them. So it's been difficult to scout what it was like preparing for the first game, whereas now we've got a game under our belt against them, so we've ever been able to see more plays against them. So I think now, because I've got more film against them, I've got a better understanding of what we need to prepare for, unlike when we played them the first time. And they did stuff different, what we weren't expecting them to do against us that they did against everyone else.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah,
Got anything else to add?
No. Apart from good job to all the media team as well today, because obviously if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to do the live stream as well. And again, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to have this great facility and showing off how good it is as well.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's all right, I guess.
Well, there you have it, folks. A 42-0 victory for the PRiDE. I'm Stefan Collins from Sports Academy Communications. I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Until then, take care. Goodbye.